Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today is not exactly an interview episode, but we're just going over the Charlie Kirk assassination and all the events surrounding it. But I do have a guest. Ethan Clark is with us this week, and he is a podcaster. If you want to go check out his show, it's The Right Take with Ethan Clark, and you can listen to it on Spotify. And really like his show. It's political commentary, news, and he's really doing a really good job there. But we didn't do this the last time we recorded because I forgot to record my mic, which is a side note. But why don't you tell us, Ethan, a little bit about your podcast and why you started it?
Well, the main reason was because of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Kind of pulled me over the edge just to try to get involved with some more stuff. Pretty much about U.S. politics and then world news. So that's pretty much it. Trying to make the episodes longer is probably the main goal right now. So, but
Well, the first thing I want to start out talking about is the public's reaction to the Kirk assassination, which some of the reactions are sad and shocking to just me personally. But right when he was shot, when it wasn't even announced that he had died yet, there were a lot of comments and posts from different celebrities and people in politics on social media sending prayers and thoughts to his family. But then even later, there were different reactions that were sort of surprising, with people literally celebrating his death, which is gross. And it's unhuman to celebrate somebody's death even though you just disagree with what they say. Unless you're like a mass murderer. We've done operations. This is really deep into it. We've done our operations to get people assassinated. But that was not Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And it's unhuman to celebrate someone's death no matter if you disagree with them or not.
Yeah, it's very, very disturbing. Even to think that people have the nerve to even post that on social media. Or just to think like that in general. It just shocked me, and it kept me awake at night. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, the evil in this world, or more than we thought, became very visible.
Yeah, it did.
If it had happened the other way around, where someone on the left, whether it was like a former president or an activist or podcast or whatever, like Charlie Kirk, I don't think we would have the same. They wouldn't have the same reaction to us as we did. We had vigils. We had national mourning. If it was the other way around, there would be fires, more terrorist attacks.
And you can kind of tell that with whenever George Floyd died back in 2020, I think. You had the burning of grocery stores. You had mass riots. And then you compare it to what happened here. It's really different if you put it on a scale.
And really, he was martyred indirectly for his beliefs and his boldness about Christianity. We know the exact motive that was said by Tyler Robinson is that he spread too much hate, and that he was assassinated for his beliefs and how outspoken he was. And one of the things he was outspoken about was his Christian faith. And like Erica said in her speech at the funeral last week, is that he will have the crown of a martyr. And I think our belief is that martyrs were a thing of the very early centuries in the early church, and that all happened a long time ago, and people aren't killed for their faith anymore. But it is happening, and it happened. Yeah. It was an assassination because of mostly what he believed, and one of those things being his spiritual views and beliefs.
Yeah. It's kind of weird if you put it into perspective of if I was that vocal as Charlie Kirk, if that was like God's will for my life, would the same thing happen to me? And that's what probably disturbed me the most about the whole thing was that could have been me. And it wasn't just I look at it as it wasn't just an attack on Charlie Kirk and his faith. It was an attack on everyone. It was an attack on everyone who had the same thought process. That I was like, I was telling my mom that, and she totally understood. And it's just like looking more and more into it, it's like, it's sure we had a little more like, I didn't think exactly like him, but most of his views was pretty much the same as mine and some other people I know.
Yeah, the martyrs were the seed of the church, and
Yeah.
if you look at what's been happening in these last few weeks after Charlie Kirk's death, it's really what we saw from the martyrs in the early centuries,
Mm-hmm.
with people going to the church for the first time. We've been praying for a national revival. Is this not what
This
we
is
wanted?
Yeah, 100%. You go on social media and you see these videos of these fathers or these mothers, and they say they haven't gone to church in 10, 20 years, and then they go for the first time a week after,
Hmm.
and just that I don't know the word, the the influence that he had
Hmm.
to, well, it was by God, but um the as much influence that God put on him to like convince people
Hmm.
and work in their lives, and it's just really awesome. And this is exactly, in my belief, what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, he was definitely a voice for God. Some people say he's a prophet. I don't know about all that,
I don't know
but
about that.
he definitely had a very big influence, especially on young people and Gen Z,
Mhm. Yeah,
and especially in the 2024 election. And we'll get into that later. But a lot of those voters that voted for Trump and decided the swing states were Gen Zers and people that were influenced a lot by Charlie.
yeah. Because if you think about it, that's our future right there.
Hmm.
Uh, I believe if he didn't do that, Trump wouldn't be president.
Yeah.
Because and then our next election is just going to be as important as this past one, and giving the youth the confidence to go out and do what he did
Hmm.
is really something that um, inspires me. So
And was speaking about the reactions from people that were literally celebrating his death, people getting fired for their posts on social media about it. And uh, one of the biggest things that resulted from it was Jimmy Kimmel's show being taken off the air.
yeah,
And people were saying it in between the time when all of the people were mourning and saying that Jimmy Kimmel was a I don't know what was the word that they used. He was like a
he's,
it wasn't martyr. It was like they were victimizing him and saying
yeah,
that the government took him off the air and free speech is under attack in the First Amendment. But really, it was his actual producers and distributors that
yeah,
took him off the air. Mainly, it was the stations that aired him, and then ABC pulled him off, and then
hmm
let him back a few days later, or like a week later.
yeah.
And
Because there's a line that has to like. Now I get freedom of speech is one of the greatest things that ever happened.
mm,
But when you go on TV and you're spreading misinformation about an ongoing investigation, in my opinion, he got what he deserved a little bit. But
oh yeah, that it wasn't like he's been he's been a thorn in the flesh to every Republican candidate or politician ever.
yeah,
And he's been doing political satire like a lot of people do. I was doing that in air quotes. But he's been doing that for years. He never really stuck with he hasn't really stuck with comedy
mm-mm.
in general. He's just doing criticizing and making jokes out of people in
Yeah,
power and politics.
yeah.
But what was my point? Oh. Can you keep talking? I was gonna say something
Um,
related to
yeah,
that.
'cause if you think about it, there's been comedians who throw politics in there, but that's not their whole show. What it's become for him is legit just politics and
Hmm.
bashing people
Yeah.
because of their views.
And like you said, it was the reason they took him off wasn't because of the ongoing uh, toxicity that he spread to all of his viewers, which wasn't a lot of people,
Mm-mm.
but he spread misinformation about like you said, the ongoing investigation of
Hmm.
the Kirk assassination. And he knew it wasn't true. That can't go through all of the writers of the show, everybody involved, and come to him. And then he ended up saying that the man who shot uh, Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, was like a MAGA
Yeah,
person.
that,
That simply isn't true at all in any.
yeah.
Yeah, it's total misinformation. That's why he was taken off by
Hmm.
ABC, and then they let him back. But I'm not going to give uh, Jimmy Kimmel this much talk time on my show. But just going back to if if this had happened the other way around, I would be genuinely uh, grieving political violence and just violence in general that a human being could just be assassinated. You know,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
no matter how bad of an influence someone is spreading, that shouldn't you shouldn't celebrate their death because of that.
Yeah. Because then if you look at it, like he's a son, this
Hmm.
person's a son, he's a father, he's a brother, and then because then you think about their family members and like what? Like there's no reason to celebrate a death of another human being just because you think different.
Yeah, and what would be? Let's say you were because Charlie Kirk had a sister, right?
Yes.
What if you were his sister or his father or his wife, and then you react to the people that celebrate his death?
Mm,
That's that's sickening.
yeah. That I'm glad I'm not in any of those shoes because I might go crazy.
And
Yeah.
what was really surprising is Erica at the funeral last week said that. Wait, was it last week? It was 2 weeks
A
ago.
week or 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Anyway, she publicly said that she forgave Tyler Robinson for what he did, which was very powerful.
That
I don't
was
think that's something I could do.
yeah, that was something special. I totally agree with. I don't think I could have done it either. The that I broke down in tears if I'm being honest because that was something I was getting ready for church and I was hearing it and I was like, dude, what in the world? Like that was awesome.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Jesus said to do, to
Hmm.
love our enemies and to. I can't think of an exact instance where Jesus spoke to for. Well, he definitely spoke on forgiving those who have wronged us. So let's just put it at that. She took that and forgave Tyler Robinson for what he did. And what he did was completely undoable. One of
Hmm.
the one of the most terrible things that could happen to a person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But uh, Charlie's involvement in the 2024 election, like we touched on this before, if you actually do the research on what he did or you saw firsthand what he was doing in the campaign, in Trump's campaign, I don't believe Donald Trump could have won the election if it weren't for Charlie Kirk. One
Yeah.
of the main things that he did was, you know how he does his debates on different college campuses. He was
Hmm.
doing those on the college campuses of the swing states.
Yeah. That was I think Trump actually came out and said that he doesn't think he would have won either.
Hmm.
Because I agree with you, I don't think he would have. Um seeing the thousands of young people that he registered to vote
Mm-hmm.
going out there and changing minds, really,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them,
Yeah.
is just something that unfortunately we can't bring back from him, but hopefully other people will step up.
And a lot of
And
the sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was done.
And a lot of the swing voters in those states were young people and people that Charlie Kirk had a big influence on, and the people that Charlie Kirk was debating against on those college campuses. Uh, Gen Z, his target audience, those were the main deciding votes in the swing states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. Um, because if you think about it, that's our future right there.
Hmm.
I think I might have touched on this earlier, but because that was probably, in my opinion, not trying to um demean the other groups. So that was probably the most important group of
Hmm.
everyone during that election cycle because it back in like the early 2000s, it wasn't cool to be a conservative,
No.
and Obama and the Clintons or whatever made it cool to be a Democrat if you
Hmm.
put it out. But Charlie Kirk gave that spark to a lot of people in Trump to make it cool to be a conservative again.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm sure convinced a lot of people because like who would want to be a conservative back then? And now you get all this influence and they're showing you the truth. And you're like, you know what? This sounds a lot better than what the Democrats are saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love Charlie Kirk's philosophy on just debate and both sides conversing on their disbeliefs and their arguments.
Yeah.
He said if we don't keep talking, like, violence happens. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah.
When when the two sides, if we don't talk about our differences, then we'll just become more divided, and it becomes a war that uh, the left constantly wants to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you saw that proved a lot of his points, especially the when we stop talking, violence happens because Tyler Robinson, in his mind, he didn't want to talk. And I think the main reason that Democrats want to stop talking is because they don't want to say it out loud, but they know their points are wrong,
Yeah.
and they know that conservatives, ultimately the majority, are telling the truth.
I mean, it's in our name, conservative. We're
Yeah.
we're preserving the original and fundamental beliefs of not only America and the Constitution, but our society in the world. And it's because from the very beginning, that's the way God said it, and it's always worked. Something that has been going and going and going for years and years
Mm-hmm.
is going to is going to be right, and it's going to work.
Yeah.
And that's why the left wants to change male and female. They want to have all these different outlandish, well, they're not outlandish anymore, frankly,
Yeah.
outlandish beliefs about different things, and
Mm-hmm.
that this can become this, and
Yeah.
it's just so, and getting back to the point, it's just so real that Charlie Kirk and us as conservatives, what we believe is true, and it's in our name because those are the fundamentals, and those are what have worked for so long.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree.
some argue whether Charlie Kirk's debates in changed people's minds. It it doesn't really, the people he actually debated with, he might not have changed all of their minds, but
Mm-hmm.
just in general, everybody watching it and those on the college campuses heard it. They heard the truth. Anyone watching most of his debates can clearly see that what he was saying was correct, and the person who was trying to debate and bring their argument was their uh, argument was dissolved. It was debunked.
Yeah, I actually saw a video earlier today. He was debating someone on what is the leading cause of death for African Americans. I think in the Chicago area or whatever. and he had him look up a statistic because the guy was claiming that other African American deaths were mainly caused by police. Well, once he looked up the specific, like the statistics, saying the wrong word there, he was ultimately proved wrong. And the rest of the video, I kid you not, he
Mhm.
was just yelling at Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And so,
And a lot of it comes with just general, those people that debate it just comes for general hate from him because he always expressed his beliefs openly
yeah.
concerning Christianity, concerning the Constitution, concerning gender and abortion
Hmm.
and DEI and wokeism and everything.
Yeah. There's a whole list for that.
Ah, it happened again. I forgot what I was going to say. Well, I guess we're not going to touch on it then.
I don't know.
It'll come to me tonight in my bed
Do
while I'm sleeping.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, just like we said, if we stop talking about our differences, then we'll just become more divided. And I feel like, especially in politics, we shy away from well talking to people that we disagree with. You know,
Yeah.
Democrats. Oh, but
Mm.
if we don't talk to those people and just go through, hey, why do we believe this?
Mm.
I feel
And I
like
think,
that's what Charlie Kirk embraced, and that's what ultimately, frankly, got him killed.
yeah, and I think the crazy thing about it is because people don't want to talk, and it's a sad look on our society because how violent people are these days.
Hmm.
They don't want to hear your reasoning and your facts
Yeah.
for certain subjects. And Charlie Kirk had the bravery to, gotta give him props, to go out and face that. And that was something that inspired me to do more stuff like him. Now I can't do, obviously I'm only 16 years old,
Hmm.
everything that he did, but trying to do the little things that matter.
Hmm. I remember what I was going to say. So the people that debated him, and people on the left, a lot of what they believe and what we disprove, it's just them refusing to accept literal statistics and
Mm-hmm.
what is true. They just completely ignore the facts, like what you said about uh, the percentage of African Americans being killed. Some of the stuff they believe is just simply untrue, but they just refuse to believe the facts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But taking a look at Charlie's lasting legacy through Turning Point, through his show, through debates on college campuses, stuff like that is going to go on forever. And his death, I believe, is going to be a lot more powerful than if he lived his life
Yeah.
all the way through.
There's a lot of it. And I think people finally started waking up after this. That every single thing that happened, essentially, or a couple of them proved a lot of his points.
Hmm.
And so I think that'll really help and continue to leave his legacy everywhere that his story goes.
And especially in this day and age, this is looking at a more material standpoint. But his videos, all of his stuff with his podcast, all of his
Hmm.
views, that's all written down. It's all going to be viewed forever.
Yeah.
And with the Charlie Kirk show and Turning Point, like Erica Kirk said, they're continuing going. They're not going to stop just because of his death. They're just going to be empowered more, and they're
Hmm.
continuing with the America Comeback tour, going
Yeah.
up to just all the places that they were going to go and debate. They're doing other things, having different speakers, and still debating.
Yeah. That was something that caught me off guard because I didn't think they were gonna continue that tour
Hmm.
throughout the US. I thought they were just gonna call it, we'll go back at a different time. But whenever they continued it, whenever I heard they were gonna continue it, that got me. I was excited because I was like, okay, maybe we're not just gonna lay down
Yeah.
because that's what Democrats want us to do.
Hmm.
if you look at it. They essentially wanted what happened to him to shut us all up,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
gives a lot of people encouragement to continue to do what or some are called to do and some want to do.
I mean, same with 9/11. What were the terrorists' motive? They were trying to stop us, make us feel discouraged, but it only empowered our cause. It only made our voice louder,
Yeah,
and we won in the end.
yeah,
And he's going to influence a whole lot more people in his death than he would if he lived a full life, like I said.
yeah, yeah. So
Did you did you watch all of the funeral? I believe it was like 6 hours.
I did, and by the time that night hit, I was crashed out because of how tired I was.
Huh.
Like I had it. I was like messaging my sister so fast because she told me that it was on a Sunday, and I was like, okay, what time? When is it gonna like? Because I need to know because I have church.
Mhm.
And so whenever I got out, right when I got out of church, I had it on my phone the whole day, and like my phone was about to be dead. Somehow it lasted 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but that was so cool.
I had it on directly from when I left church all the way, or I was listening to it pretty much all the way until like the evening service, because
Yeah.
it was full 6 hours. I didn't so much listen in detail to like the earlier speeches,
Hmm.
but I did get to listen to Erica's and JD Vance's and Trump's. And
Yeah.
I didn't get to listen to all of Trump's live because eventually I had
Oh,
to go into the church, but I did listen to the rest of it afterwards. His was
made
really
me
good.
that made me so mad. I told my mom that okay, I'm calling it right when we're gonna go to church. Trump's gonna come out and speak. Well, come to find out, right when we were going to church, Trump was speaking, and wow, that broke my heart. But
My brother and I were debating who was gonna do the last speech, Trump or Erica, and it was Trump. But I feel like it would have been cool to have Erica have the last word at his funeral,
yeah, I agree.
saying all those things. But in the end, it was okay.
Yeah,
Trump gave the usual long, long speech, and then
yeah,
he sidetracked about the whole autism and Tylenol thing. Like, what in
that
the
was
world?
so random. That was really weird. I didn't expect that whenever I was watching it. I mean, something that I wasn't expecting at a funeral, at least for a
Yeah,
speech. But
yeah. I'm speechifying about this about
oh
this
man,
about this murder, and I'm gonna go talk about Department
um,
Two.
oh my goodness,
Thank you, Trump. Thank
yeah,
you.
seriously.
But it was crazy. I don't believe I've said this in this recording, but I didn't really know a whole lot about Charlie Kirk until like the day he died and after his death. I always, if I'm being completely honest, and I always overlooked him. I thought it
Mm,
wasn't really real, but seeing him now, I obviously regret that. He had a
mhm.
very real testimony, and he was outspoken about not only his faith, but everything that we believe in and that my values are.
Yeah, I want to thank. Well, my brother-in-law actually got me into him, and because I had no idea who he was until he told me, so I kind of started watching it, and then like during the 2024 election cycle, like he got me. Like I was like so into it. That's like all I watched during the day. It was terrible. But like he influenced me a lot and a lot of my beliefs that opened my eyes to a lot of things that and I whenever I first saw him I was like he could probably do something pretty special.
Hmm.
Come to find out that he did, especially during the 2024 election.
Hmm. I just wish I'd known him better, and if I did, then I think it would have come a lot more shock would have come because he was assassinated like 30 or 35 minutes from where I was at in
Oh
Utah
wow.
Valley University because Salt Lake City is here,
Hmm.
here, and
Yeah.
UVU is like here. That's like all out of proportion.
That's crazy.
But yeah, really close. And I had heard that he was coming to Utah to tour here at the different universities, but never thought anything like this would ever happen. And even when he was shot, it was like, oh, it's like a Ronald Reagan situation, or like
Yeah.
a Trump situation. He was maybe
Because
shot, but it wasn't lethal.
and the weird thing is like you shouldn't consider that, but he wasn't even running for office.
No.
Like that's how much influence he had. And then I encourage you not to, but I unfortunately saw the video on social media of when it happened, and after I saw it, I was like, dude, I kid you not, I started like sobbing because he had so much influence, and just like in that like quick second,
Mm-hmm.
his life was gone. It's crazy.
It, but it just surprised me so much when I found out that like he actually died, and then it got the news about it being very severe
Yeah.
and where the bullet hit,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like I said, I thought it was maybe missed him, maybe hit him in the ear like Trump.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know I'm kind of sidetracking here, but I saw a video, and this is the only thing that kind of brought me comfort after it, was that he experienced no pain,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't know what was happening because of
Yeah.
where the bullet hit him. The reaction time for, I guess, for when you recognize pain,
Mm-hmm.
where it hit him, he had no clue. So that's the only thing that kind of gave me a little bit of happiness, if you want to say that, after the whole thing.
Yeah, stuff like that does usually bring comfort when you find out that there was no pain or no suffering. It was just like in 1 minute he was doing what he loved. He was debating, talking about his beliefs, and then the next minute he was with the Lord. So that's comforting in itself.
Yeah, 100%.
But ending on a lighter note, Apple or Android?
Apple,
Apple.
100%. Wait, are you Apple or Android? Which one?
I'm full Apple.
Okay, good. Praise the Lord.
You you will
My
see.
dad,
Oh, go
my
ahead.
dad unfortunately is an Android guy, and so I have to tell him every now and then, you got to get right with the Lord and go to Apple. But I don't know if that'll happen.
My dad switches to Android sometimes just
Oh,
because he just he sees the features and the either like the Google phone or whatever and switches.
no, it's not worth it.
No, just switches back quickly, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
But you will see my texts are green, right? To you,
yeah, they are.
that's a long story. But sometimes my texts are green, and
Okay,
but I do have an iPhone, so if my texts are
that's
ever
good.
green, just so you know, I still have an iPhone.
Praise the Lord.
But I have MacBook. I don't have
Okay.
AirPods. Frankly,
Okay.
they're not. I say frankly a lot. I have. Well, these are actually Apple, but most of the time what I use are these JLab wraparound earbuds because I hate
Uh,
when earbuds fall out. That's the worst.
yeah, yeah, I that's like I wouldn't call it a pet peeve of mine, but that makes me pretty mad.
Yeah. And with these, like, it took me a while to get used to them. Like, they were a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but they just wrap
Mhm.
around. And
Okay.
they're very discreet. When you see them come around the back, you don't really see it.
Yeah, I might need to get me a pair.
Yeah.
Now that you're talking about them like that,
They were on,
because mine fall out every now and then.
yeah, they were on sale at Target for $20.
Dude, I got to go to Target.
Oh
I think that unfortunately though, the closest Target to me is like an hour and a half away. Hour
yeah.
and a
Oh.
half away. Unfortunately,
Well,
so
they are pretty common. I mean, the brand is JLab, so
I'll have to look around for those.
I was looking for wraparound earbuds for quite a while before that time.
Oh, okay. So I
But
might need to start.
anyway, oh wait, I lost the cap. Never mind. Anyway, Charlie Kirk's death was horrific, and it completely shocked our society, especially like when it happened in
Mhm.
our timeline. But this is something that we'll never forget about, something as significant as a presidential assassination And I feel like it's one of the most significant events of this decade, without a
Yeah.
doubt. And they're bumping up security, and the same thing happened to Trump. This new age of political violence, much like the '60s, is out of hand. And then all the shootings that happened afterwards, and they're
Yeah.
still happening. The stabbing
Like
yesterday.
you can't get away from it anymore.
Yeah. But it was great to have you on the show, Ethan. Good luck
Yeah.
with
Having me.
good luck with your podcast.
Oh yeah.
If you ever,
Thank you. I might get you on sooner or later.
So right after you finish this episode, you need to go listen to the Right Take, the first one or two episodes. That's my homework to you. Go listen to it. Leave it all the 5 stars. Become a subscriber. Join the Patreon. He doesn't have a Patreon, but figuratively join his Patreon.
Yeah.
But it was great to have you on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.